Guys, now let's continue from where we left out. I believe we hosted the application, and I want to point out that I did change the app. So let me go back to deploys, to my deploys. So projects. So yeah, I understand that we were working on the Dijkstra site, but I want to uh, tell you that I switched to this new one and I'm calling it Trocora. It has no problem. There's no actual large change. It's just that I wanted to do maybe I wanted to add some AI into it, and I love the name Trocora. So yeah, I think we will be continuing with it, but whatever you named your project doesn't matter. So I have hosted it and here it is. So today we're going to configure routing. And so if you want to see how routing works, so these are projects that I've already done. So this is what we should expect. So when you come to a new project, maybe you go to home. So you get to see the home page. And so when you click to on a link, a new tab opens. When you click to the next link, a new tab opens. So that is what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you the proper way to do routing in React. And yeah, this is what we aim to achieve. But this one is still on localhost. And this is our clean project with nothing. And also, as you can see, when we're navigating through the routes, this header does not change. So why doesn't it change? Because I've made like a base layout, and so I'm going to show you everything in a few. So let's let's go back. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to start by, because maybe I might forget, I want you to come to this public folder, because you're going to face these errors. I don't know the best way to show you this. Let me show you how to fix some errors. So when you come to maybe a different project, let me just go to the one that we were working on. So let me just open this project. So this was the one we were working on. So I made some few additions to it, but when I click to on a link, you get this unexpected error, and so the routes one are not working properly. So first we're going to fix this problem. And so how do you fix it? You come here on the public. If you're hosting on Netlify, that is, come here, just create a new file, call it underscore redirects. And so don't ask again, I'm adding it to Git. And so let me tell it. So you want it to route anything, any route that goes to slash all star for all routes should be redirected to slash index dot html. Then I do a slash 200. So this is the 200 status. So every link that goes to, when you do an npm run build, when the project is being built, let me just write it, npm run build. So when the project is being built, all routes that go to any path should be redirected to the index.html. So as you can see, my dist folder has been built, and so we have a redirects one here. And so you get, this is public slash redirects, and this one is dist. So every 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 URL that goes, every path that goes to this project should be redirected here. And when you go back to your Netlify app, and let me just go and go back, projects, Tracora. This is one of the one we're working on right now. Mhm. And yeah, so as you can see, okay, it's not really there right now because I've not pushed it, but when you go to this assets folder, we want it to be here. We want to have a redirects folder. So every time someone goes to any URL, as at now, when you come here and you maybe go to slash home, you see page not found. And so you're going to face this error unless you add that the redirects. You make a public you make the redirects file in the public folder. Then so when you're hosting on Vercel, there's a different way to do it. If it's nginx, if it's so this one is specific for Netlify. Maybe you might ask, maybe I might show you how to do this on a different hosting platform. So this one is specific for Netlify. So with that done, let's move on. Let's make a, so here's the whole project. We have our main. So first I'm going to maybe install the React router. So npm install React router DOM. So you need to have that. Also, you see this nice UI. I'm using Lucid React, so if you'd wish, you could have that. So just putting it out there. So come to your main folder. We're going to define some routes. So route. So let me say const router should be equal to create browser router. This should be an array of routes, and the routes are sort of objects. So we're going to say a path. So all paths going to the root directory. Maybe for now, let me just let me redirect them all to the element. You go to this element app for now. And so instead of having it going directly to the app folder, we're going to tell it you're going to be using the router. Is it browser router? Oh, my autocomplete is not working. Oh, sorry, it's the router provider. So every time I create, we have a browser router provider that it requires an attribute called router. So you're going to give it this router to that attribute. So router should take that router. And when you've changed that, essentially what you've done is it's going to refresh, and as you can see, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Because we've not changed anything. We just said when you're going to this path, you should this is the router that we're going to use, and so the router provider is going back to here, in which when you're going to the root directory, it takes you to the app component. And so as you can see, we are in the root directory. Maybe if I go to slash anything, yeah, and so we are getting an error because we don't have that one. And so maybe I could have another one. I don't even remember how to do this, so let me give it a path and say any path that is unknown. Should we do that? I don't really remember. Element should be redirected. I don't really remember how I did that redirection, so let me just look it up. We did some redirection in which, yeah, So um, we should tell it to navigate element. The element we should tell it to navigate. So we are using the React router for everything. So we're going to redirect to the root. So in case you put in an invalid, and then I'm going to tell it to replace true. And so yeah, in case you have an invalid path, it should navigate you back to the root URL. And so if I go to maybe slash maps.mock, you see I'm redirected back here. Now, one more thing we should do, we should define other paths. So let me just have new directory, let me call it pages. And so then my pages, let me just new, maybe another directory for components. So all pages should go here, all components should go there. So let's see what we're going to need. So let's have a new directory. Maybe let's just do a file, call it home page.jsx. So home page, I'm going to do an export default function. I love using functional components. So home page. So it should return div saying, let's give it a h1, say welcome home. And so instead of so back to our main, let's give it let's just have our another path. Control D for duplicate. If you're using WebStorm, you can just Control D. We call it slash home, and then we're saying it should return the home page. And so if I go to slash home, and it's telling me welcome home. Nice. Last thing. Now, this is the way I love having a setup new, maybe directory. Let's call it this layout. So new file, call it this layout dot JavaScript extended, and it's going to export default function, call it this layout, and it should return div. And so base layout, what we want to do is we want it to basically take some children here, and it should return the children. So let me just show you. Let me show you what I mean. Base layout, okay. Let me just give it a h1 for now for clarity. I want it to have let's just say base layout. So when you go to main, instead of giving you the app component, it should give you the base layout. So okay, let's just go back from home. We have the base layout in our home directory. So what do we normally have here? So in every base layout, you should have a head, a header, and a body. And so why do we do this? Because I want the header to be consistent in every page. When someone goes to a different page, maybe for conversations, for text to speech, every page it should we should have that. And so base layout is the element, and let's just say it should be taking some children, which is an array. So the array of children, and let's also give it objects. Let's say the path should be, it could have a login page, but we don't have a login page as at now. We have the home page. So instead of control X, so instead of having the home page being independent, let's just let's just have it here. So when you go to the base layout, you just remove that tag. So when you go to the base layout, you need to see the base layout, and after seeing that, you need to see the home page. So you need to see this base layout, and then the home page should appear below. And so let me go back to so when I refresh the base layout, as you can see, you're not seeing the home page. So why are you not seeing the home page yet? It's supposed to say welcome home. So you're expecting to see a welcome home just below the base layout. And how we fix that is we say that it takes the base layout takes an outlet. It takes an outlet component. So let me just import the outlet from the React router DOM. And so as you can see, welcome home. So this is where the base layout always has maybe a header on top and a footer on the bottom. Then the home, you give it everything that goes in between, and so things are going to shift in between. And now, do we have? Do you want to spice it even further? Yeah, maybe. Maybe let's go back to the home page. Let's say maybe the base layout, maybe let's say it has a header, and the header has the h1 saying any title that you want to track, or AI, that is our app, and a nav for no reason, which takes an ordered list items, with the list items saying maybe home. And another one should say maybe about. And okay, let's give it login. Okay, let's have one for docs. So this is the base layout, and we are not seeing this header for some reason. Oh, it is. So the header and the links and welcome home. So home, we are expecting when we want to have these as links, so such that when you go to home, you should see welcome home. When you go to docs, it takes you to the documentation page, and when you go to login, you go to the login page. So maybe let's define that. Pages. We have a home page, so let's have a new file, login, JavaScript extended. We're going to export default function, say login, which should return maybe a form. Div, I say it's with a header saying login. let's give it a form, say for the action is none. We don't care about the action for now, and we're going to have some inputs. Inputs, type text, placeholder, say and enter your name, and yeah, that's all that we care about. And maybe a button saying send, and we give it a type, say type submit. So we give it type submit, going to send. And do we care about anything else? We have a login page, we have a home page, and a docs page maybe. So file, call it documentation .jsx. And by the way, all the documentations of how I'm going to implement this project should be defined here in this uh-huh, all documentation should appear here. And yeah, we're done. So next thing is we want to now switch through the pages. So when you go to slash login, you're going to go to documentation, you need to see these pages. So what do we do? So we say the base layout has children, control, control. So let me just paste these ones. And so docs, we have another one for docs. I should be going to documentation, should be going to there, and you import that. So make sure you import it. And yeah, another one, login, and it should be taking you to the login component. So let me just import it. If you're using WebStorm, you don't have to write all this. You just click import and everything works. So let me just test it out. When you go to slash docs, and you see all documentations should appear here. And when you go to slash login, you see the login page saying enter your name and send. So what should we do? We want to have these links be able to navigate. So what do we do? I'm going to go back to, this is the base layout, this is the header. So let's go back to the header. Where did we have our header? On the home page. We didn't have it there. Was it on the base layout? Yeah, I believe it's on the base layout. So instead of just having list items, let's use the link item from the browser. So we're going to import it from the React router DOM. Then we're going to say home. And so we have one for home. We had another one DD. So we wanted one to go to home, another one to go to the docs, and we want another link to the login page. So login. So link, it should take a 2, then you should give it the place that it should go. So home should go to the root, and so this one should go to docs, should go to the docs, and the login should go to slash login. So let me just add like a slash here. And now we have a problem. What problem do we have? Okay, expected corresponding JSX closing tag for an ordered list. Oh shit. That's my mistake. Now we have them. When you go to home, it tells you welcome home, go to docs, go to, yeah, and there are two attached. Let me just do a break in between. BR. So when you go to login, you're in the login page, you go to docs, you go back home, yeah, and routing just works. So this is the way you're supposed to do routing in React. So maybe next time I'll show you guys how you're going to do proper authentication, maybe logging in, logging out, yada yada yada. And also, since you're working on a project and you might want to earn something from it, maybe show your friends in nini. So I'll show you how to implement payment. And so I am using PayHero. So if you guys are in Kenya, depends. If you guys are in Kenya, I'm going to show you how to do it via M-Pesa. And so we're going to have maybe a donate to this project, please, here. Yeah. So let me just push this code to GitHub. So maybe git, and so I also showed everyone how to set up the CI/CD pipeline so that when I add the project, so when we just deploy everything right now, git commit, give it a message, say proper routing in React. Then I do a git push, and then you give it your username and password. Where was my password? Okay. Yeah, and after you've done that, you can now just come to the gods. What's wrong with that? You come to the gods of deployment, and hopefully, okay, hopefully, if everything just goes well, the application will deploy. As you can see, when I take you back, you see, I had some few failures because of my React version. So actually, make sure you're using the long-term support version, that is React version 20, I believe. And yeah, so proper routing in React. So I have pushed the project to the GitHub. As you can see, everything is okay on the GitHub side, proper routing in React. And when I go back to deploys, it's still working on it, as you can see. Yeah, so we will give it some time. Maybe it will be done in a few. So where did we host it, by the way? Did we host it here? Was it here? Oh, no, 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 no. Page not found. This one was here's the page. Oh yeah. So this is the page as at now before deploys. So I'm not sure if it's done deploying. Yeah, it's done deploying, complete, everything is good. And yeah, the redirects folder is now working. And so if I go back to, as you can see, this was the problem we were trying to fix, one of the problems. And I go and do a refresh. As you can see, we are online. Awesome. So let's meet on the next one.